Silent here. So, the Telegraph posted a while ago this wonderful article, and I thought I just had to respond to it, mainly because a feminist friend of mine on Facebook decided to cite it to me whenever I said, well, your claims about catcalling of all women are kind of bullshit. They sound a little ridiculous and obscene. So this is what she cited to me, and I thought, man, after I looked at it, I just had to go through it. I had to respond to this. And it starts out with saying, catcalling happens to most women between the ages of 11 and 17. Oh, okay. Fair fucking enough. The largest study of its kind has shown that 84% of women across the 22 countries are experiencing street harassment before the age of 17. So I don't really understand. It's really clear that they think they found some kind of like amazing data or whatever. And so I'm gonna look at two things. You should look at two things. Look at every single like study, sociological survey, whatever, is are there biases by the people that are funding it or creating it, or are the methods just super flawed? So, I mean, I'm going to go through the actual like survey and data set itself. So like most of what they have here is just worthless because it's all repeated in the other page. So there's this YouTube video. We'll go over like some parts of it. It's really not super important. But I mean, just think about this. They use Twitter posts on Twitter. Women have been sharing their own experiences with the hashtag #FirstHarassed, showing that for many, it starts before they even reach puberty. Like, this is anecdotal evidence. Like, you're just throwing anecdotal evidence at us and expecting it to be statistics. And I think it's hilarious that Twitter, that the Telegraph, right, a public newspaper, a pretty well-regarded newspaper, is publishing something and its evidence is Twitter hashtags. Like, and this isn't even good anecdotal evidence, assuming that anecdotal evidence can be good, is just like, look at this. I was 10, walking with my cousin in a sleepy beach town, and he was a middle-aged white guy who'd had a few too many. Like, first of all, you're not saying what the fucking harassment is. You're not saying what this guy told you. You're not saying anything about the situation. You're not saying what time at night it was. You know, maybe this guy owned the beach. Was like, get the fuck off my beach, you little kids, whatever. The fuck, I don't know. And you have no idea if he was directing this verbal harassment to you because, you know, he was drunk, or because you were a woman, or because you were a kid. Like, there's just not enough information. And you're using this vague definition of harass, which you'll see this study uses it over and over and over again to apply to like this street harassment, when that's just false. There's so many ways to harass people. There's physical harassment, there's domestic abuse, there's verbal harassment, there's emotional harassment, there's street harassment by strangers you don't know. There's so many different forms of harassment. It's just so ridiculous. So let's go check out this study, right? By Hollaback. So Hollaback, you have the power to end harassment. Let's take a look. Let's take a real quick look. A non-profit movement to end harassment in public spaces. And look at these photos. Like, this is totally like a normal activist group. You know, it's not really regressive left. It's not really feminist. No. No, this is a moderate group. They're just looking to end harassment. Like, I mean, right? Let's look at all their research. They must have done tons of research. Oh, the one fucking study. Okay, great. All right. Well, one study, that's okay. You know, maybe they're new. Maybe they're not about this. Hollaback. I like how that's exclamation mark. Hollaback and Cornell University began a large-scale research survey on street harassment in 2014. The research was released in two parts. Part 1 reviewed data from the United States, and Part 2 of the survey, a cross-cultural analysis of street harassment from 42 cities around the globe, was released in May 2015. There were over 16,600 respondents. What the fuck? Making this the largest analysis of street harassment to date. What? This is... You think this is like a huge survey? I mean, 16,000 people, yeah, that's pretty big. Compared to the fact that there's just, millions of women. There's what? If you assume 8 billion or so humans, 4 billion women. If you assume just from the United States alone, there's about 150 to 160 million women. And so somehow, from all these 42 cities around the globe, from apparently 22 countries, that 16,600 women are going to speak for all women. Yes. Absolutely. So let's go through. Out of all these respondents, and then they have all this, like, whatever percentage data that I'm going to go through and refute in a second. Let's look at the language again, right? So we talked about the use of the word harassment. 95% of Argentinian women report being harassed the first time before age 17. Like, that's such horse fucking shit. Because harassed can mean fucking so many things. That doesn't have to mean street harassment. It doesn't have to mean catcalling. So just... let's just go down to the actual methods, because the methods are going to make this. So let's look at Argentina, right? So analysis provided by Dr. Beth Livingston. We'll talk about her in a second. Let's look at their procedure and just go through some of it. Guidance of prior research on street harassment or sexual harassment in the workplace. Using Hollaback's constant feedback and guidance. Let's look at Hollaback for a second. Feedback was given by Hollaback leadership and site leaders throughout the process to make sure we were using wording that was as broadly applicable as possible. And they don't even hide it, right? Their use of the word like harassment to mean so many more things, and to not only confuse people who are looking at this survey, people who probably fucking took this survey, is absolutely fucking criminal. It's actually fucking ridiculous. And if it's not fucking criminal, it's immoral as shit. It's absolutely just fudging the fucking numbers. And let's look at another thing, right? Survey was not randomly distributed to a random sample of participants, and thus cannot be generalized in the same way as, say, a Gallup poll. Just let that sink in. The survey was not randomly distributed to a random sample of participants. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Let's go back real quick. And you can't use for generalizations, right? 84% of women are experiencing street harassment. Like, it found that most women experience catcalling. When that's not the wording they're using the broadest wording, the wording that is as broadly applicable as possible, right? Now let's look at the sample size. Argentina, 331 people. Let's look at the population of Argentina. I already done some searches on this. 41.5 million. So let's say half that, 20 million. So 331 Argentinian women who are not randomly selected using the broadest words as possible are going to speak for 20 million Argentinian women. And all these numbers that come after this, all these numbers are horseshit because all of it are used on the false data. So all of it is fucking false methods, all the false data, and so none of this fucking matters. 331 respondents is a fucking joke, right? When you're trying to relate that to 20 million. And this just goes on. It's the same procedure everywhere. 262 Australia, right? Canada, at least they have 620. Look at that. And it just goes on and on. And these are some of the smallest sample sizes. The only one with like any kind of real sample size is fucking the US. That's because they have 5,000. Because that's where Hollaback fucking is. Because they chose fucking people to take it. So assuming that people even, didn't lie. Assuming people were truthful on this. You're still having a completely false survey. Because you're purposely using harassment wrong. The wording of harassment. You're purposely You're purposely using this as a generalization when it's not. It's not fucking a generalization. It thus cannot be generalized in the same way as, say, a Gallup survey, I fucking quote. So let's look at Beth Livingston and her, you don't give a shit about your research assistants, but let's look at Dr. Beth Livingston, shall we? Let's look at Dr. Beth Livingston, Assistant Professor of Human Resource Studies at Cornell University. Yeah. So first of all, fucking Human Resource Studies. Holy shit. God help me, you might as well be in Gender Studies. Assistant Professor. Okay, not even a fucking full professor, that's fine. I am an assistant professor in human resource studies with teaching interests in HR and staffing and research interests in gender, stereotyping, and the management of work and family. No, you're not at all biased. Not at all fucking biased. Teaching statement, this is hilarious. My philosophy regarding teaching revolves around a simple pair of concepts: genuine enthusiasm and cutting edge information. Don't make me fucking laugh. Cutting edge information, don't make me fucking laugh. And let's just go to her publications, right? Because, if she did all this great work, she must have published Hollaback, which was 2014 to 2015, right? Let's look at this. Beth Livingston, bargaining behind the scenes. No, that's not in journal articles, peer-reviewed. No, none of that. Not what you expected to hear, accented messages and their effects on company choice. No, that's not. And this is 2012, so it fucking doesn't apply. Nothing after this applies because it's not in the right timeline. So, no, she didn't fucking, publicize, oh, look at all this amazing journal article I did. Look at all this amazing peer-reviewed shit I did with fucking Hollaback. Because it's not fucking peer-reviewed. The only thing they even say through here is peer-reviewed, right? Reviewed by Cornell's Institutional Review Board and found to be exempt because no identifying information was collected from the respondents. So, at least from my understanding of that, is they didn't collect demographic information, I guess. And because of certain, I don't understand. But the whole thing was not peer-reviewed. The whole survey was not peer-reviewed. They're saying, these surveys were peer-reviewed based on, translation or whatever. And let's look at, professional activity. Maybe she would even say, hey, I participated in this. I helped Hollaback. Look at this. Proposed model of work. Nope, not in 2015. Proposed model of work, relative disability management. Nope, not in 2014. Everything after this is 2010 and after. So, no. She's not fucking putting it on her little homepage, whatever. And she's fucking full of it. So, not only is Hollaback biased, heavily fucking biased, right? But holy shit, Beth Livingston is also fucking heavily biased. And all I fucking see is bias. Bias. So how the fuck is this entire study viable? It's not viable. The methods are flawed. It can't be used you can't use it in any kind of generalization. It can't be effectively used. It wasn't a randomly decided group of people. It was used with the broadest language possible, and I fucking quote. So no, this fucking survey is full of horseshit. And this video, right? I could play this video. I'm sure you've seen it. This is where this bitch goes through and for 10 hours walks around New York as a woman and gets quote unquote street harassed. Yeah, some of these guys are street harassing her, but look at this first one. Let's just watch this for just 1 second. Look at this first one. How are you doing today? Dude sitting on a street corner. How are you doing today? Smile. I guess you're not smiling, so I guess you're not doing so good. Yeah, serious catcalling there. And you can just go through the whole video. And you can see how so many of these instances are literally just people have a good evening. Not fucking catcalling at all. Not street harassment at fucking all. Some of them are. Some of them definitely are. But most of them are not. And then here's the thing I really, really want to point out. 10 hours of walking in New York City as a woman. 10 fucking hours. This video is 2 minutes long. 2 minutes long. And if you go to the end, please donate to Hollaback. So this is entirely done. Entirely done by Hollaback. This entire video was created and made by Hollaback. And they got a woman to walk around for 10 hours to get 2 minutes of fucking clipped together video. Do you know how much that is? Of like the actual time spent, assuming they're not lying, about 10 hours? That's 0.3%. 0.3% of the fucking time is put in this video. So what the fuck happened in the 99.7% of all of the other times she was in the street corner? I'll tell you what the fuck happened. She was walking around to no destination at all because she's walking for 10 hours. And other people were walking alongside her, going to the same place, going to a similar place, crossing the street. And people didn't fucking care. People didn't fucking give a shit. And they ignored her. Just like they ignored every other fucking person as they were walking to their destination. But they had the gall to put together 2 minutes out of 10 hours of a lot of shit that isn't even fucking harassment. Isn't even street harassment. In order to create their own fucking lens, in order to frame the situation in their own fucking way, it's all confirmation bias. This entire study is confirmation bias. It is entirely flawed because it's exactly the what you expect is what you get. And this is just another example of just feminist pseudoscience being used to indoctrinate people into their fucking religious-esque cult of crazy beliefs. And the second you come out saying this is horseshit, this study is bullshit, there's obviously flaws, now you're a sexist, now you're a misogynist, now you're a fucking asshole, now you're part of the patriarchy, and, you're going to get doxxed and harassed on Twitter and harassed on YouTube or harassed on fucking whatever internet thing, and they're going to try to, whatever. They're going to try to make your life a living hell, essentially. They're going to attack you for disagreeing with them. And if anybody really wondered why the feminist movement is just so utterly disliked, it's for this reason. It's for this exact reason. Because we are fucking tired of dealing with this horse shit. At least provide when we say citation fucking needed. And of course, citation and all the credits for that great joke goes to Naked Ape. So yeah, he's fucking hilarious. They come back with horse shit pseudoscience studies that are all based on confirmation bias, that are all made to, only convince the people who don't read past the first fucking sentence. Don't read past 84%, and then they throw it. Now it's a thing. And any other statistics you have, any other, disagreement or contention with their obviously flawed study is all part of like this internalized misogyny, and you're just a sexist. Peace the fuck out.